Well, I guess we're live. What's up, Ken Hill?
What's going
Holy
on?
shit, dude! It's been since Nam.
I know it's been a while since I know I've seen you a few bunch of times, but yeah,
Yeah,
we haven't
yeah,
been on air in a while. So yeah, that part of it's pretty cool. I know I got to see you and your dad at Road Atlanta. How awesome was that?
yeah, man.
And yeah, but we haven't done a show in a while, so there's so much stuff to catch up
Yeah.
on.
Oh man, I don't even. Where do you want to begin, dude? Like, there's just so much.
I don't know. Pick a topic. Let's just do it.
You know what? Let's just get that club racing shit out of the way.
Oh my God. Okay. I just heard about this like last night.
I
So
heard about it yesterday, man. I
yeah, I
heard
heard
it.
about it last night.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's
So,
let's dive into it.
everybody sends me shit. I think it's because it used to be my club, or I was one of the owners of that club, but I guess they raced at Podium Club last weekend, and I don't know what round they're on. I'm not really racing right now. It's weird, but I'm kind of okay with it because it's like not racing is kind of like getting a raise.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but yeah, I guess there was some drama out there, and a couple people sent it to me, screenshots from Track Day Junkies Unleashed, which is that's a whole nother
I am
thing.
not. I am not. I am not on uh, TDJ, whatever it is.
TDJU.
TDJ.
No, I'm not
Jesus
on there
Christ, I'm
either.
not on there, but I get a lot of screenshots from
Yeah,
them.
dude.
A lot of screenshots.
You got the meme master over there, like meme masters. Dude, they're making t-shirts of shit too, which is hilarious.
Um,
Um but yeah, I mean I guess there was a lot of commentary on this subject, but there was a guy that was racing his 750 in the 600 class there, and much like a lot of clubs across the country, I'm sure this has become an issue, but certain dude, I'll say his name because we're gonna see his YouTube here in a minute. But Joel was running his 750 there, and I suspect he was out there trying to get some high grip track testing or whatever,
yeah, he wants to ride. Sure, he wants to ride.
sort out his motorbike or whatever for the nationals. I don't think Joel gives a shit about club racing stuff or anything like that. He's not trying to interfere in championships. However, I'm gonna call him out. He did, I guess, allegedly he put down a 600 on his registration form, so that's a little. Come on, Joel, you're better than that, bro. Um, but there's a guy that won the race that ended up protesting Joel, who finished behind him, and of course, Joel's illegal. The one thing I did see was on the cool. There's a cool down lap that shenanigans where the dude that
Oh,
protested him was it was pretty dirty on the cool down lap, I think, and a little bit uncalled for. You want to take a look? You want to see it?
I'd love to see the video. Yeah, these are. Oh my God, just
This is
you're
me,
just
bro.
you're
You know what? I'm
firing
just gonna
both
like,
barrels. Yeah, firing
like,
both
yeah.
barrels right out of the gate.
I think you got your waders on, right?
Oh my God.
All
You
right,
know,
let's.
I think yeah, these club things can be very interesting. But I
Yeah,
mean, there's the funny thing is there is some sort of
stigma.
yeah, but there's like standards that you just have, right? There's just certain things you do and certain things you don't do. And I understand
Right.
how emotional this gets. I've been on the
Yeah.
receiving end of it. I've never protested anybody, but I've been protested, so I get it. And
Yeah, I've been protested. I've protested. I don't give a shit.
of
Like,
course you have.
yeah, well, yeah. One guy protested me out of retaliation because I protested him for running a super bike in super sport class, and for retaliation they protested me because my stock fork tubes were anodized blue. I
Okay.
mean, they lost, but still, it created drama, and I'm like, dude, don't cheat. Like, first of all, like as a club racer, as a racer in general, I fucking hate cheaters.
Yep.
you know. But the thing is, the what's worse than that is knowing somebody is cheating and letting it go, because then they're gonna think it's okay to keep cheating and taking your money. So you can either talk shit on the internet about that person, which does nothing but I don't know, make you kind of feel better in the moment, or you can protest the thing and take your money and get them DQ'd. You're right.
I think. Well,
I
what's
don't I
weird?
don't think anybody should I don't think anybody should be like allowing the shit to happen. The term known cheater should never fucking happen.
Yeah, I mean, I like you raced for many, many, many years, decades,
Yeah.
and I think when my club racing stuff was mainly with AFM, and there was a little bit of a protest culture there to a degree, but I think a lot of the top riders, we all sort of agreed not to protest. We thought, okay, you know what, we're going to let our on track riding talk. That said, I do think that there was times where things should have been protested that didn't get protested. To
Yeah.
your point, and
Yeah.
so I think there is a little bit of a culture where they're either one way or the other. Either they're too
Right.
protesty or they never protest. And I think
Right.
people
Too
potentially use,
protesty. You mean like
yeah.
send? I'll throw it out there. I mean, it's been years, so we can laugh about it. But there was one season where, oh shit, I want to say this was set '07 also, but I think Jeff Stern sent Carl Lowry's bike home in a box every month.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I mean, he
it's
paid the
actually,
money, right?
yeah.
Oh, let's see. Can we get Ken's volume turned up or mine turned down? Dude, mine's not that far up. So, can you turn up your microphone volume, Ken?
I can try. Let me see if I can do
Yeah, August Nord says Arma is cheater central. Is it though? I mean, I know that a bunch of people protested Curtis Adams last year at Laguna, and he was found to be legal. So he was kicking everybody's ass on a slow ass motorcycle. So,
I'm gonna try that. How's
oh
that on
wow,
my
that's like way
microphone?
louder. Okay.
Okay, how's that? Yeah.
Yeah, all
Sorry,
right.
I was using an external, so let's try
It's
that.
because you were just so soft spoken. That's what
There's
Irate Barry says.
Yeah, well, Irate Barry, there's times where when I need to say something, it's gonna get said. Let's put it that
Oh
way.
wow. Okay. Yeah. So back to the thing, I mean, like I said, there's on the one side of the coin, there's sending a dude home with his bike in a box every month. Like that's pretty shit. Um,
Yeah, I mean
I'm
that's what
not
I'm
saying
saying.
that that's a thing, but dude, if you think somebody's illegal, whether it's engine or I mean, a lot of the protests are just visual. It's like, dude, you're in super sport. Why are you running carbon wheels?
So I think the problem nowadays, or even back when I was involved with it, was that I mean, when you think about it, there's so much invested, right? The time
Yeah.
and the money,
Yeah.
and to have your weekend ruined or somebody else's weekend ruined.
Right.
Like I said, you don't want to be Mr. Protester, but also I
Right.
do think that there's a balance where you don't want to let people get away with too much.
Right. And the thing is, like, there's other people in the class that finished behind Joel. Like, why didn't they file a protest? Why did the guy that won the thing have to protest?
Yeah, that is an
Kind of
interesting one.
strange.
Let's okay,
So,
you know what? Let's
you want to see the video?
stop talking and let's see this video.
All right, let's see the video. Okay. I'm gonna add this to the stage here real quick.
Now, okay,
So
so
this is for context. This is like 14 minutes and change into the video. This is the cool off lap
whose
of the
bike
race.
is this?
This is Joel's 750
Okay. Okay.
on board. So
Okay.
this is the cool down lap towards the end of it, I guess. And then this is what I see. So right
Oof.
away, I see dude come in and he like kind of leans on Joel like fuck you, right? But then he not only does that, but then he does this afterwards. So I mean, clearly he was like displeased.
So
So,
I mean, both you and I have been in a position where we've definitely given people the number one sign
oh, 100%.
on cool down laps, right? Whether it
Yes.
was a bad pass or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I mean,
Yeah.
we've done it, and yeah, I mean, I have also chased people back down to their pits and had words with them,
Yeah.
so I get it. But leaning into them like that, it almost looked like he bumped him. I'm not sure, but I
Yeah.
mean, if he didn't, it was super close. That to me is bullshit. I think that is not the racetrack is not the place to settle those types of things.
Right.
You want to flip them off, I get it, flip them off, but I think yeah, doing something like that is not okay.
Yeah, years ago I flipped off a corner worker because they during the race they threw out a red flag and then as I went by they pulled it back. So I threw my arm up to exit the track and everyone else just kept going. But I was like, dude, I'm not gonna be the guy that you know. And so, they denied it or whatever. I even had it on video, and it still didn't matter. It was what was done was done. So, you know, but yeah, like I'm not a saint, or I'm not a good guy. Like, dude, I'm an asshole sometimes, and I will, I ride really aggressively, and if you're a dick, I'm gonna flip you off. But like, dude, on the cool down lap, like, eh, you know,
So I think there's a few things here, right? One
red
is,
mist,
yeah, no shit.
right?
I think that there's a few things there that, actually, I'm going to change, see if that's any better.
Oh my god, wow, it's
So,
really loud now. All right,
oh, okay, there we go. So I think there's a couple things there. One is, I know people want to race, right? They want to ride, and maybe their bike's
right,
not super legal for the class. I
yeah,
mean, it's always been unspoken that if that's the case, you pull off on the last lap. That's just what you do, right?
right,
It's just like, okay, whether you're winning, you're in 15th. It's like, look, I want to get the track time. It's valuable, but I'm going to pull off on the last
right,
lap. Let everybody have their deal. That's just what you do. But you
yeah,
also don't. If he did fill the form out incorrectly, that's also not cool.
yeah,
So it's you. It's almost like you want to make it very transparent what you're doing and what you're writing,
yeah,
and make it transparent, but then just freaking pull off if you want
yeah.
the track
Or,
time.
dude, or after the race, just go withdraw, right? Like
Yeah,
that's what a lot of people used to do. Rick's Picks wants me to hook him up with a shirt.
Rick, that's cool.
You want one with my name on it, bro?
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Yeah. So, so that's the club racing stuff. I
All
see.
right, all
So
right. That's
moving
the
on,
get
moving
the
on,
gossip out of the. All right, what are we talking about
shifting
next,
gears. I think we should talk about Moto America.
dude? Road Atlanta was,
Wet on Sunday.
yes, it was, yes, it was. But what a great
Yeah.
weekend! I mean,
Yeah. It was.
there's so much going on, and yeah, I don't even know where to start. I mean,
Yeah.
on our end, I'll just quickly on
Yeah. I
our
mean,
end.
you got CJ LaRoche is the writer that you're
Yep,
working with, right? So how's the
yeah,
two
and
trimmer doing? I know he switched to the 750 for this season. This was the first race weekend, I guess he's been on the 750, right? The first national.
yep, correct.
So, and go.
We we did not have the weekend that we wanted, and of course, unless you're winning or on the podium, you're never going to have the weekend that you want. And I think that we didn't have as many testing days as we would have liked, and we were just a little bit behind. We were like literally one day behind. We actually ended up qualifying in Q1. We were ahead of where we were Q1 last year,
Okay.
but we weren't far off. But I'm going to blame myself on Q2 and then the race. We got sort of outside the envelope of what our working knowledge was with the bike, and we decided to go with it because we just didn't have a lot of time and it made
Right.
sense. And it was the wrong way to go.
Hmm.
And yeah, we went too stiff in the fork with the spring when we should have done something else. And I'll put that blame on me. And of course, on Sunday it rained, so we thought we had something good in the rain, and also again our lack of time with rain settings. We actually made a little bit of a. Oh, there's Kirk. Hey, Kirk. There's our wine guy.
The wine guy. The
Um,
wine guy promised me wine at Road Atlanta. So I don't know. I guess I got wine on the way at some point somewhere.
you'll get some. Don't worry. Yeah, and then we just again same thing. We got caught out a little bit on our wet settings, not on the chassis. The chassis actually looked. We figured stuff out. We actually looked good on the chassis.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a rain map issue, so CJ had a great start and ended up not completing the first lap. So he ended up tucking the front in 10B
Oh shit.
with throttle mapping issues. So
Okay.
not the weekend that we wanted to start with, but we learned a lot. We're actually going to Mid Ohio next week, so we're going to try Mid Ohio, and got some test dates there that we've got a massive itinerary to work on. So
And
stoked
then
for
you
that,
guys have Barber's up next, right? For you guys?
dude. Yeah, I mean we've got a very busy week. We're at Mid Ohio on Monday and Tuesday, and then basically we're at Barber on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like get it sorted. I mean, it sounds like CJ's making progress.
No, we were good. I mean, we were very quick at Jennings. We were very, very quick at CMP. We had one kind of a 1 day deal at CMP. We were very fast there, very
Yeah,
fast. And then we went back to
CJ's looking
Nelson.
CJ's looking fit too.
Dude, I looked at his Strava this morning. At frickin' 6 o'clock this morning, he's doing a frickin' 9 mile run.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
Yeah,
so
40-mile ride myself. It's 6 o'clock this morning. So
yeah, I did 38 miles today on my bike, and but it was
nice.
not. It was I waited till about 10 a.m. when it was 100% humidity. It was not good.
We don't get
But
100% humidity here in SoCal, but
oof, yeah.
I mean, it's those mornings. Coach Nate Loyal,
Hmm.
he
Yep.
posts videos, and it's like I felt he was talking to me, even though he wasn't specifically talking to me, but he was just like, "Hey, man, consistency is key. If you feel like you're not into it, just get your ass out of bed, put on the kit, and go."
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
Even if it's for 30 minutes, even if
yeah.
if it's for 30 minutes, just ride. Yeah,
But I've
I
been doing
agree.
crazy stuff. I mean, I rolled out of bed Friday last week and I knocked out a 6.5 hour ride. So, like, no big deal. Like,
I did not do that.
yeah. So, I mean, it's like the 10,000 hours thing is still taking an effect, even though I'm like chubby right now, kind of. So,
Well, you just got to put your time in. So yeah, I mean, overall, we've got a very good direction. We've got a good test plan, and you're right. CJ is riding incredibly well right now. I just
yeah.
don't think we've given him quite the bike he needs, and it's
Okay.
still getting used to it. So I feel good about it. But the other thing is that super sport class. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
dude. Like, the guy I
It.
had picked to win won. But, dude, I didn't know Blake Davis was so fucking fast on the 600, man.
Oh no, no, no.
Holy shit, dude.
Well, a bunch of things there. Is one, Blake is very, very quick, and he showed some signs of this last year. Two, the
Yeah,
team is very, very good. I mean, they really have their shit together.
yeah,
The bike works well. I think they do. I think the team itself is a big part of it, and they do a great job.
yeah, and then Skoltz, he's riding for, I joked that he's riding for Tony Stark, but it's not Tony Stark, it's Peter Strack.
His
Tony Stark,
bike,
Peter Strack.
his bike didn't even run on Friday.
No, dude. Like,
It didn't even
he
run.
missed Q1 also,
Yeah,
right? He
yeah,
missed Q1. Yeah,
it didn't even run. And then I don't know where he was gridded. He was gridded like on the fourth or fifth row.
yeah.
So to come back was crazy. Um, yeah,
He's
I
gonna be a
mean,
threat to win this year for sure,
oh,
you know?
it's when you look at the lap times from last year and you compare them to this year. I mean, there were
Yeah,
so many people in the 29s this year. It was unbelievable. I mean,
yeah,
unbelievable. The median of that class is just crazy. And there were 7 people that could have won it. So unbelievable. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, the racing is the best. It seems like the racing is the best Moto America's had to offer. Am I crazy?
it is fantastic. Yeah. It just keeps getting better. I mean, like we're trying to work on stuff or download or do whatever, and then it's like you're trying to watch your freaking live timing to see, to see like who's doing what in Superbike
Yeah,
or how fast the baggers are going. Oh my God, right? It's
yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah, just
yeah,
yeah. So the racing's amazing.
yeah. Okay, so then, like you said, Superbike, same thing. It's like it's a class full of savages. Just brutal warriors who just take no prisoners every lap,
Yeah, I mean,
basically.
I have my favorites as everybody knows, but I mean, I
Yeah.
kind of also don't want to know who's going to win.
I mean,
So
like, I have my
I,
favorites.
I, of
Just
course you
saying,
do.
right?
Yeah, and they all have all this different dynamic, but I mean, the racing on Sunday was unfreaking believable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
The racing, not that the racing on Saturday was bad, but oh
I
my
mean,
God.
dude, the battles between Bobby and Heron, you know, on
That was
Saturday.
good. That was
I
good.
mean, Heron did get Heroned, so that was
Yep.
something. But then, later on in the race, the battles between Cam and Jake were just like, Jake didn't want to give it up, and he would throw it right back in there. I don't think he had it at the end. I guess I guess at the end he couldn't feel the brake lever.
I know, just
Like, how
I
does that
mean,
even work?
I know. I listened to Richard's deal, and
Yeah,
it was nuts. And the
yeah,
funny part is, of course, where the big change for Jake obviously needs to be in braking. So
yeah.
all that's going to do is put more pressure on his hands, of course.
Right. Well,
So
dude, he
yeah,
is
it is.
breaking better. I mean,
It's unbelievable.
if you
Yeah, I
saw it on
mean,
Sunday, even he was like,
mhm,
"Not today, pal."
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah, and it's interesting
it's
too
pretty great.
with interesting too with Jake is that sometimes, I mean, even though I think Jake's a little bit of a thinker at times, and when to see him strike back so quickly, I was like, oh, someone's not playing around.
Yeah, dude.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was just fantastic. It was like, okay, because sometimes Cam can get out there. Cam gets out there, he can run a pace, and he's obviously very difficult to get around. So
yeah,
for Jake to come back that quickly was like, holy crap. And anyway, that was good. And
yeah.
then interesting with JD, JD had a very conservative Saturday.
He
And
did.
I talked to him on Friday, Saturday,
So
and
did
Sunday. And
Baz,
yeah,
right?
that is an interesting. Well, JD, when I talked to JD, he said, look, I just wanted to get through the day clean. I wanted to get good data. I just wanted a solid result and, get through this. And then
Right.
Sunday he came out so winging. And yeah, to see him, I mean, basically he was able to um, run Jake down, and
Yeah,
then of course Cam was in the thing. So yeah, it was definitely a good show. And of course
dude.
that
JD. First of
crash,
all, JD's a fucking savage,
big time.
right?
Oh, he's an
Holy
axe
shit,
murderer,
dude. He
axe
just
murderer.
like picks the thing up, dude. That little tiny Tasmanian devil, dude, picks up the bike like it's a sack of potatoes.
Yep. Yeah.
He just
Yeah, it
spins
was
it around.
good.
It was like, oh, I was like,
Yeah, it
man,
was good. Yeah, we talked a little bit on Friday and Saturday because he had some questions on a few little things. And then when I quizzed him about some other things, especially in the wet, he's like, "No, I'm already doing them. I'm good." So it's
yeah,
like, "All right, attaboy."
right
Yeah,
on.
so he's really queued up right now,
Yeah.
and I think you're going to see him for sure more at the front. So
So, what the fuck was the crash on Saturday? That front straightaway thing. Like, what was that?
I
Did you
didn't
see it?
I
Did you see it
didn't.
happen?
So
Okay.
the boys were all they went down to the front straight to watch the last few laps because they were you can get pretty close to turn one there.
Yeah.
And so the race had just ended and they were sitting there kind of watching everybody and they just turned around to walk back to the pit and all of a sudden they heard all this noise. And yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously jacked up both boys pretty. I mean, Baz not so much, but Richie's effed up.
Dude, Richie's out. I think Richie's out for a minute. You know,
The bike
I
broke in
mean,
half. I don't know if you saw that or not. The frame was
yeah, I
completely
mean,
broken.
it's never a good time when a team has to
No,
write off a motorcycle. That's, no matter no matter if you like the team or not, it's pretty shitty to like
no, they didn't.
lose
I
a
mean, honestly, they
motorcycle.
didn't have. Yeah, they had an expensive weekend when you look at
Yeah,
Tyler Scott stuff
yeah,
and even Posh had a couple as well. So that was
yeah,
not a great weekend for them.
yeah.
But
I'm sure. Papa John's spreadsheet is blowing up at him. He's got.
oof,
He's like John showed me this spreadsheet years ago, and it was like the dollar amount per mile for every rider.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
pretty crazy. But yeah, Abraham 4131 is asking like who I have a there's a rumor. I haven't seen any confirmations of it, but I've heard that Chavi Flores maybe.
Oh, interesting. I've heard that in Troy Herfoss, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
Troy
But
Herfoss would be a good one too. Like
yeah,
Troy, yeah. Yeah,
I
everybody
I
thinks
would.
of Flores. I mean, I had Freddie on last week. Freddie all but said he thought that it was going to be Chavi. Um
I mean, I would love to see Chavi on there, and I think he could do a pretty good service to the team with his
he's such
feedback.
a, it's just to have that dude in the paddock too. I mean, what a good dude that guy is. And it's so
Yeah,
shit that he doesn't have a ride, you know.
yeah, I mean, he's good for the sport, right? That's how
Yeah,
we have to look at it.
absolutely.
He's good for
Absolutely.
the sport, but I think that he could have valuable feedback for that team with his experience. I mean,
Right.
I think that would be a no brainer just to get him on the freaking thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Hopefully
and
that
dude,
happens.
Herfoss too, man. Holy shit, that guy's a lunatic too.
The Baggett races were just unfreaking believable.
Right?
It's also interesting. I don't know if you saw any of the queue, but yeah, Herfoss was struggling a little bit in queue, and then Hayden went by him, and Hayden towed him, and I don't know if it was just of course Herfoss had never seen the track before, so it
Right.
was just trying to figure out like what can I actually do in some spots, and the guy is
Yeah.
such a quick study. I mean, just yeah, very very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's your rider's goal for Barber?
I mean, we're still keeping our top 10. I mean, we want to be in the top 10 of super sport, and to be in top 10 in super sport is, I mean, that is a result right now.
That's like a
And we had a
win,
good,
dude.
it
I
is. I
mean,
mean, we had a really good barber last year. We were very quick, and I knew it was the extended race, but we had a very good barber last year, and yeah, we want to be back where that is. So the Mid Ohio test is pretty important for us. So we got a lot to do.
yeah, okay. So I think should we shift gears to the next thing?
I know we've already blabbed about so much stuff. So anyway, what do you got?
Yeah, we're not even half an hour in.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so obviously this week the 2027 MotoGP rules stuff came out, and I guess it's like I guess they're gonna get they're changing the engine to 850 from the 1000. They're gonna go from 22 liters to 20, and they got to run quote 100% sustainable gas, and then they're pushing the nose back 50 millimeters and making it narrower by 50 millimeters, and
No ride
then
heights. No ride
and,
heights.
and then they're ditching the transformer shit. um oh, and all the teams get everybody's GPS. Oh, and
So
there's a engine limitation where it's like instead of 7 engines it's 6 or something like that, so
so it is. There's a lot there, and I understand how complicated this is, and I also understand how much politics goes on with this as well. I mean, honestly, if you look at
100%
the fuel,
sustainable
yeah,
fuel.
yeah, the
Fuck out
fuel
of
is
here with that.
probably 100% freaking politics. But I think we it's funny because we had those Casey Stoner comments that people saw. I don't know if people saw the
Hmm.
Casey Stoner comments. And he's like, we're basically making this an engineer's deal. It's always been an engineer's deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Newsflash, it's
So,
GP.
correct. And,
You know.
you know, I think that though, I don't want to skew it to where the rider has less effect. And I think
Right.
what we're starting to see, the rider is starting to have less effect. I mean, you're seeing that a little bit in, for instance, on corner entry, like how they're sitting on the bike on corner entry and what they're doing to keep the arrow doing what it's supposed to be doing, how they're moving over the bike in the middle of the
Yeah.
corner to take advantage of the arrow. So we're already seeing a little bit of that, and I understand the whole goal is to get around the racetrack as fast as humanly possible. I get that, but I think I want to make sure that the rider has the like essentially the biggest effect,
Yeah.
and let's keep it. I understand engineering is going to happen. Of course, it's going to happen, but I want to see the rider making sure the rider is as basically the main performance um, indicator, biggest performance standard that we have riding the bike. I don't want to see the
Yeah.
engineers take over too much for that. So I
Yeah.
I get what he's saying, and I do think that there's some things in there, like the ride height thing is going to be interesting. The 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 ride height thing, I don't want to say I don't get, but that's actually going to, in my opinion, that's actually going to make things back into the engine. That's going to be almost opposite of what's happening now with wheelie control and things like
Right.
that. So anyway, so it is
I
interesting.
I mean, Richard's got an interesting take on it too. Like he sent me a picture. He sent me like a video of a Formula One dash, and he's like, "Dude, it's not like." He's like, first of all, it's not Formula One. Like our riders have a hard enough time using the rear brake. Okay, like calm down.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean,
No, I mean, yeah,
Casey's comments. It seemed like he was saying it. Some of the things are going to help the racing get better. Like ditching some of that arrow, ditching the transformer shit. Like I'm kind of okay with those things ditching too. Ben Spies said something about it too. Like, I wish they were back to motorbikes again instead of spaceships or whatever. And
I
but
agree, and this is what
I
I've
get
said.
I get that.
I want the rider. I want the rider to be in control, more in
Yeah,
control than the electronics, right? So, if, for instance, if the wheel control's too, intrusive, or something's causing it where the rider's not letting the rider showcase their talents,
right.
but more importantly, being able to ride around issues. So think
Yeah,
about that, right?
yeah,
Is the bike is never perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But if you're not in a position to be able to ride around something or at least alter it a little bit, I
yeah.
mean, that sucks ass.
Yeah, what happens if
So,
their transformer shit just stops working and they're stuck in the down position?
well, we've seen that, right?
Yeah,
Or
we
when,
have.
or the winglets falling off or whatever it is. I mean, Binder had that issue a couple races ago where, he couldn't do X, Y, Z because, one of the winglets is off. Two of the winglets was off.
Marquez is always running with at least one side of winglets missing, right?
Oh my God. Also, interesting comment on Marquez. They want him to start using a thumb brake. He's not
Really?
using a thumb brake right now. Yeah, he's been using foot brake and not a
Hmm.
lot of rear brake. And so they're saying that he needs to start introducing more thumb brake on that bike.
Or
Um,
handbrake maybe, or
or thumb brake or rear brake is he needs to
right.
introduce more rear brake on that bike because it's designed more about it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, interesting comment there. But yeah, I don't want a Formula One MotoGP, right? It's
Right.
just it's not fun, and then you're in a whole other deal. But again, I want the rider to be
Yes.
the single biggest influence on what the bike does, and be able to deal with all those things. So
Yeah, I mean,
let's go fast.
it's not like that's going to happen tomorrow. It's 2027. So like the teams all have to go and build a motorcycle around that now, right?
Yep.
If
Yeah.
they haven't already.
Yeah, I mean, there's also some comments from Binder today. Binder had some comments that, the new Michelin rear tire actually has so much grip. That's where some of the lap times are coming from. That KTM has not figured out how like their chassis is working with extra grip. So the bike is either sort of picking the front end up on the exits or it starts to pump. So again, I want the rider to be able to control more of these things instead of going, well, sorry, that's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like the crew is in charge of the engine from the pits with buttons. We don't want any of that,
Not yet.
right?
Yeah, not yet.
That's the actual telemetry, right? Like there was a guy that the buy a jet from Steve Main guy came in and Richard corrected him on the use of the term telemetry versus data acquisition. So, yeah, telemetry is what Formula One has, right?
Yeah,
So,
we just have a bunch of data that we just freaking collect and then try to figure out what the hell it all means.
right, right. Yeah, so the other MotoGP thing, and I think we can't skip it, is the fact that we've got an American leading the world championship in Moto2.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing to see Joe
Joe
Roberts
Roberts.
in there. Yeah, it's amazing to see Joe Roberts up there. And I think with Joe I mean, the bottom line is Joe has put his time in.
Yeah,
I think he entered I think he entered Moto 2 in 2018.
that
I
sounds right.
think.
That sounds
So think
right.
about that. And this is one of the things and I've got something that I'll finally finish hopefully in the next couple of months on a little bit of an article on this, but it's, yeah, I think it's a minimum of 5 years, 5 to 6 years before they basically start to solidify and figure out who
Right.
they are. And he's been through the gamut, right, on different bikes, different frames, different teams. And he's finally getting mature enough to where he can start to figure some of these things out. So, I mean, I think this is just an evolution of him being in there and having to go through all of that. It's absolutely great to see, and
Yeah.
these honestly these next 2 or 3 rounds for him are almost the most important because he's established this, which is great, but we need to see what happens after these rounds because if he can keep that momentum going and either stay in the box or stay in the top five or whatever it is, man, is that going to help his confidence later on in
Dude,
the
he's got a
season?
win coming. He's on the verge,
For sure.
man.
Yeah.
He's
He
got a
had
win
that.
coming.
Yeah. I mean, he had that weird win, but it's, where all the other dudes crashed out. But I mean, we,
A
I
win's a
want to
win,
see,
right?
yeah, win to win,
I
but
want to see
I
him
want to,
win with those dudes under him on
yeah,
the box.
yeah, punch him in the face. Yeah, I want to see him punch those guys in the
Yeah,
face.
yeah,
So I do think it's coming, and I think that this is just really what we're seeing now is just that process is finally starting to come together, and I think he's matured. I mean, I've studied Joe quite a bit, and what he really lacked was on entries. I mean, really lacked on entries,
hmm.
and now we're seeing him. I think we're actually seeing him make some time up on the entry, but more importantly, what we're seeing is him still make the exit.
Yeah,
We would see him not being super crisp. Like in other words, when the pace really came up, honestly, we'd see him get a little bit sloppy. And now he is staying in line. He's covering his apexes. He's making passes on the brakes. I mean, it's really impressive. It's
yeah,
really impressive.
yeah. He's definitely found something. Do
Yep.
you suspect? Do you suspect it's more him, or do you think it's the team got some sponsorship money? Yeah,
I don't know much about that part of it because I don't really pay attention to it. But
yeah,
I think, at that level, when you're dealing with, the top freaking 14 guys being within 6/10 of a second,
right,
everything matters. Everything matters. What you eat and drink matters. What the guy changing the tires and tensioning the chain matters.
right.
And so I think they're finally getting to a place where everybody's understanding it. And it seems like I mean, honestly, he seems to work well with the Pirellis. I mean,
Yeah,
that's another big factor. And I mean, again,
he's
from my
faster on the
perspective,
Pirellis. Oh, if I could only make us,
yeah, I
I
mean,
could only,
again, my perspective is that he's making it up all basically down to the slow point. I mean, from straight
yeah,
up and down break down to slow point,
the dude is
he's
ripping.
he is. Yeah,
If
it's
that
very
last
good.
race had 2 more laps, he would have won that fucking thing.
That was incredible. Yeah, I mean, incredible.
Like, he fucked up, went backwards a little bit, and still came forward and was battling at the front. Oh, and I'm
Yep.
being asked, "What am I drinking?" Cream soda, dude. Cream soda. Yeah, 'cause I don't drink
Freaking
alcohol.
loser.
I don't drink alcohol, what?
Nothing. I'm pretty much alcohol free at the moment as well. So,
Pretty
but
much. What does pretty much alcohol-free mean?
I would say I'd have one drink a week right now.
Okay,
And
okay.
it's very, very minor. I'm finally starting to get a little bit of momentum on my knee coming back. It's been 5 months and things are going well, so I'm
Nice,
happy. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, the creme. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What
Okay.
else?
So,
What else?
you know what? What do you think of the comparison between because the Moto Two bikes are the was it this Triumph 765 engine, right?
Correct. Yep.
So, what do you think of the 765 being in Moto Two, and in GP it's a 850?
Ah,
I
I
mean,
don't. I
right?
That is well. I mean, those things are. I mean, those 850s. So I mean,
I mean, last time it was a 800 and a 600.
So yeah, that is interesting. Um, back I did have a little bit. Just I got to hear some basically gossip back in those days. After Nicky won the world championship, he came and rode at Freddie's a couple times, and there was I don't know how accurate this statement is, but I did hear it from somebody fairly prominent. But there was times in Nicky's championship year, and again, this is gossip more than anything, that he was
Right.
not riding a 990. He was actually doing development work on the smaller bikes in race weekends, so he wasn't riding
Oh,
a 990 at the time.
huh.
That could be
Yeah.
some unfounded gossip, but I did hear it from a very reliable source. So I mean, those 850s are going to be 18,000 RPM, 16
Well, plus they
17,000
have all the
RPMs
electronic
rippers.
shit too. They
Oh
have
yeah,
all the
oh yeah,
nanny shit, and the Moto 2
yeah.
bikes, I don't think have the
Nothing.
electronics. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
pretty much nothing.
right.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, the I think that 765 is a great motor. I mean, if I had my druthers running something in Moto America, I'd probably be trying to do a Triumph deal. I think those things are good, but to be clear, I want nothing to do with bike development. I want I want to do rider development and team development. I want nothing to do with bike development, but I think they did. I think that the Triumph has got something there. I really think that thing's got something in Super Hooligans. I think that that thing could punch everything in the face in Super Hooligans based on the
Really?
rules. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you can do head work, you can do cams, you can do all that stuff where you can't do that. So in Super Sport, the 765 is neutered, but in Hooligans, you can freaking let it rip.
Really?
So,
Hmm.
yep.
Yeah, hooligans. I was talking to Richard about that yesterday, about hooligans, and Richard always shits on the baggers, and I'm like, baggers are done. I'm like, the thing with the baggers though, that makes hooligans such more attractive class, I think, is that, dude, the gateway to entry is so high. I mean, dude, the privateer bagger dudes, I talked to a couple of them. They're like 150 grand, dude,
Yep. Yeah.
minimum, like 150 G's, just
Well,
boom.
think about what happened this year. I mean, look at how Super Sport exploded because
Yeah,
Super Sport is now the cheapest class.
right,
And I mean, since we just went through a couple of 750s, I know exactly how much those things cost and what it takes to get them going.
right.
And it's not cheap, but that's the entry level class now for us. I think that's why there's so many people in that class.
Yeah, yeah. So the bagger thing, it's tough, right? Because I mean, dude, you start out with a what, $30,000 bike or whatever, like, and then you got to put 120 G's into it to get it to be like kind of okay. You
Ah,
know, I mean,
yeah,
having the factories in there. I mean, we have two factories in baggers right now. I mean, I haven't seen metric bagger entries yet. Um, I don't think we'll see them. I mean, the
there, where
hooligans is like every fucking class. It's like there's so much shit in the hooligans class, so many different bikes. It's like, it's really competitive. So, I
yeah,
mean,
Chris McCreary's got a thought in here, and that blends to your thought, which is my
yeah,
thoughts on Kawasaki dropping out of World Superbike and Bimoto coming in. I did not see that coming.
yeah,
I mean, Kawasaki definitely has a little bit of a reputation of being in or out. They're a little cyclical when it comes to this.
yeah.
And I'm concerned that we are going to see more dropping out of some of the Japanese manufacturers. I really hope not. The fact that Cowie, Cowie going out and Bimoto coming in, what the hell? I mean, it just has to be purely financial. I mean, I don't see any other reason because the Cowie's not. It's not a turd. I mean, obviously, it's done.
He said it's not a turd.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
look.
it,
I mean, well, but look at. I mean, look at. I mean, look at the Lowe's riding the thing, right? I mean, good lord. I mean, that's kind of like how you want the guy to be able to go. Okay, the bike's not performing well. I'm going to figure it out and watch me ride around the outside of everybody.
right.
I mean, unbelievable. And that's obviously what we want in the sport. So, yeah, Kawasaki dropping out, I didn't see that coming. And especially for Promoto to be coming in, I I don't have an answer for that one because it honestly doesn't make sense. And the bottom, I mean, going back to going back to your baggers thing, I don't think we're going to see any of the Japanese manufacturers in that because I think we're seeing them kind of move away right now,
Yeah.
which is not what we want. We need, this sport historically has been supported by the OEMs, obviously, and
Right.
and we need the OEMs in here. I'm doing an article on riders not being in Europe right now, why we're not seeing riders in Europe, and that's why just having a little bit of that Joe Roberts information right now because that's a little bit fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talked to Freddie about this, and basically, when you look back at Kenny Roberts or Freddie or even Nicky or Speeds, these were all OEM sponsored riders, right? They were
Yes.
brought through the OEM ranks.
Right.
So this is why if we want American riders to go to Europe, they're going to have to go. The OEM way was the way to go, unless somebody else is going to spend the money and the time. Again, back to the
Right.
Joe Roberts 5 years thing. So we really need OEMs in this, and for Cowie to, yeah, Cowie to go out. Oh my God, it's like I don't want to say it's another nail in the coffin, but
I
it is
mean,
disappointing.
it sounded like Bamota was going to be the Cowie effort, kind of.
I mean, the bottom line is how well is that going to work?
It's like running a CRT, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the bottom line is how well is that going to work?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it
I
does,
mean,
but
didn't Anthony Govert win a race on a Bimota?
he did. He did. Yeah, Phillip Island. I mean, it's Gobert though, but
Yeah, I mean, it
I don't
was
know.
Govert.
Yeah, I don't know. So, um, Cody says that we need Buell back. Actually, I'd love to have Buell back. I was a big fan of Buell. I did test riding for them. I did some development
Doesn't he
work for
have
them.
like doesn't he
I
have
bought one.
EBR 5.0 now? Like whatever
I
it
don't
is.
know. I mean, I felt so strongly about them back in whatever year it was, 17 or 18. I bought one of their bikes because I was like, I want these guys to succeed. And yeah, I mean, I actually like the bike quite a bit. But
Yeah.
it would be great to see. It would be great to see them back. I mean, just to even see a Buell in stock 1000 or something like that would be
Yeah.
freaking awesome. Um, but we'll see what happens. I'd
Yeah.
love to see them. Honestly, I'd love to see them have a 400 or 500 or 600 cc bike. I mean, that's what's selling right now, and I think that would be a really good market for them. So
Yeah. Well, dude,
anyway,
there was a Buell at the last track days.
really,
No shit. Camming brought one out and his daughter rode it.
that is awesome. Yeah, they're
I was like,
they're
dude, why do you bring like the coolest shit all the time? Like that's awesome. So
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was a fan of those things. I got to do some development work for them, and I am a fan of them. Other than the single front brake, I think that's
yeah,
I think that's
Eric
shit.
Buell was pretty
Sorry.
married to that single
Hmm.
front brake thing that didn't fucking work for anybody, right?
Yeah, the quick story on that. When Nick Ianach and I did some stuff for Buell, we got this was like it wasn't the highlight of like some of the things that I've done, but close to it. We got hired by Buell to go to track days in their Buell rig, and they'd bring out like I don't know, we had like 10 demo bikes, and our job was to go to a track day and pass everybody. We got paid to do that,
That's
and
kind of awesome.
it was actually awesome. We sold a bunch of bikes that way. But at certain tracks like Road America, I think it was Road America, Mid Ohio. I mean, we were having to put a brake rotor on it every session. We were popping them. Yeah.
You were popping them.
Yeah, they'd break.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
check it out. Pinky's joined us.
Oh
Pinky,
boy.
bro. Like, I don't know if you saw the
Anyway,
beginning of the show, but whatever. Sorry, not sorry. Hope you guys sorted out. Whatever. Good luck this season, Pinky. Um,
so yeah, that was that. So I'd love to see Buell back there, and I actually think there's opportunity for them if they again cater to the market. But you know, going back to like Cody's questions and some of the other ones is we really do need as many as the OEMs back in this, and OEMs is I mean that's what we're getting honestly in hooligans and baggers. We're getting the OEMs.
yeah. So, you know, speaking of OEMs, there's a commenter, Martin's Life in the Hangar. He said he thinks it would be cool to see a CF Moto in Junior Cup. I think they sponsor somebody, right? I think I saw CF Moto on something, but
Yeah.
like, do they have? Imagine if they, because it seems like CF Moto is a pretty big, huge company that produces a lot of shit. So, and I've been seeing them with demo bikes, and I'm like, who the fuck are these CF Moto dudes? And now you see them in Moto 3, right?
So here's the
So,
problem: is that I feel that in the U.S. Um, we're not a prototype market. So I think even though we could have a prototype series,
right,
there's no it's whoever's going to someone
right.
would win the series, but then there's nothing from that to
But
get us to
they
Europe.
have a production based bikes. Like they have a whole They have
I have to
dude,
see that
there's
one.
like CF Moto, they set when the national comes and they set up the demo bikes out in the
No, no,
yard,
no. I've
whatever.
seen yeah,
You know,
I've seen some of that.
Alan Lane actually runs that whole thing out there. Um, so that dude runs the whole thing out there and they have demo bikes. And no shit, dude. I saw a huge demo thing at Daytona the last couple years, and I want to say I saw CF Moto at Road Atlanta too.
So this goes back to I really do think that we need to have like an OEM spec series. I know we've got
Yeah,
Junior Cup now, and Junior Cup, of
right.
course, is the Cowie 400 Cup.
Like the classic Ninja 250 series, right?
Well, I
Or like
mean,
that.
that's yeah, I mean that's the reality is that's what we need. We need an OEM to be in there to have a spec bike so we can identify the riders that are doing it and all you know, blah 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 blah. And Junior Cup does a good job with that to a degree,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's
I would
almost
really
a cup class, right? Because it's like 99% one bike.
it is. I mean, it is, and of course, now that we're seeing so many changes, we've got the Ninja 500 back. What the hell, right?
Yeah,
Everything's old is new again, and
right.
then we also have the 400 RR as well.
Yeah,
So the main thing is whether it's CF or Cowie or whoever it is, I would really like to see an OEM sponsored class, spec class for that,
right.
and I think that would be, yeah, I think that'd be the way to go.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you have it. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the high grip track stuff. Like, I mean, I know, like, am I crazy to think that Mido has new pavement too?
Oh yeah, no,
So Mido's got new
Midow's very
pavement.
good. Yeah,
Jersey's got new pavement. Last
yep,
year we had Laguna, Road America. I mean, fucking everywhere is getting new. Dude, Sonoma got new pavement.
yeah. Sonoma got new pavement, and yeah, people are hauling ass. So I did get to ride at New Jersey, and we're all riding at Mid Ohio next week. I think we're doing the first bike days at Mid Ohio are next week, and
Really?
we're doing those. So we don't have any bike reports there, to my knowledge. And then yeah, last week I did get to do a day. I was there for 2 days, but I only rode for
Yeah.
1 day at New Jersey. And it was honestly, I mean, it was very, very good. Um, there's still a few places where there's some bumps, and I think it's one of those deals that as they go and grind things up, they literally unearth issues that they didn't maybe know.
Ah,
And in this case, there's the bumps in 3A are gone, the bumps in 3B are gone, the bumps in 3C are still there. They're actually a little bit later,
okay.
but they're still there. There's some weird ripples in 10. I mean, it's very, very late in 10,
Okay.
but the entry to 10 is fine. And then there's some weird, a little bit of a weird, I guess it's a bump, a little bit of a bump in 12 as you come out of the front straightaway, but not very noticeable. Entering one was weird though. So a couple things about one
Yeah, Randy Workman
is
specifically asked me to ask you about turn one. He said it was on the entry there was like pretty gnarly seam or something causing bumps.
so the I didn't have anything towards the apex in one. Now the layout of one is slightly different, which we'll talk about. But as you come into the braking zone for one, normally you would be right up against the curb on the left going in, and there's a massive set of bumps there. So I found like being off about 5 feet off the curb before you turned in was the way to go. Otherwise, it was very, very bumpy. Turn one layout is also different. I actually looked at my data from when I rode there last year to this data because it was about the same lap time.
Yeah.
And turn one, I'll say about 2 miles an hour faster, 3 miles an hour faster. But the layout is different, meaning that the radius, so the track is more open, but the radius is actually a little bit tighter. It's weird. So you actually turn in earlier. Well, what it does though is it puts you in a weird position for two because normally you'd kind of
Oh.
ride around a longer radius and be straighter into two. Now you're coming at two at an angle. So I ended up having to use a little bit more brake pressure in two
Mm.
to slow down a little bit more. But grip was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It was pretty freaking cool. And we actually had very, very good tire wear there too. We were sorry we were on Dunlops. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Well,
mean
you know, you guys have
we
to
had good
though
wear
because of
then.
Motor America. So I'll let you slide on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was working with a student there. He was on Dunlops, and I rode an R1. It was my first time back on a bike, so that was kind of fun. And yeah, but Jersey was good, high grip, um, just a joy to ride. I rode with the Riders Club there. They just put on a great event, and they also said that they're going to be working with the asphalt company. I thought this was interesting that the asphalt company does have windows to come back where they like those ripples that we talked about. They're going to come
Yeah.
back and they actually heat a section of the track up. They have this gigantic
Yeah.
heater and then when the track is hot, they freaking re-roll it.
Yeah.
So
I,
whatever.
yeah, I've seen a little bit of that done. I think they did that a little bit at Laguna too, but and I guess it's that same paver that does that all the time. So like
Yeah,
does
Carlos says
it's the same people that did Laguna and Road America, right?
yeah, Carlos said turn one where the old curbing used to be is now part of the track. That's accurate, right? So it's the
Okay.
turn one is now it feels much wider, and again
Okay.
you can turn in a little bit earlier for it. I
Hmm.
didn't notice a seam there, and it certainly could have been.
You
I
were
didn't
on an
notice anything.
R1, not a little bike, maybe, because I think Workman and those guys were running a R7, so maybe
Yeah,
the
it could
slower
be,
bike
could
is a
be.
slightly different trajectory there.
Maybe. I didn't have a problem at towards the apex one. I didn't have an issue with.
Yeah.
I just had issues going in. But yet again, the angle of one is just a little bit different, and I did carry a little bit more speed through there than compared to my data from last
What do you
year.
think? What do you think the new pavement's going to do to lap times when the national shows up?
They're gonna haul ass,
Second, at least, or two
at
seconds?
least. Oh no,
A s-
it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be at least
yeah,
a second, probably second and a half. It's very
second and a
fast.
half. That's
Yeah.
because the lap times are already kind of nuts there, right?
Oh, I mean, they're gonna go
Like,
under 20 for sure.
I've spun a lot of laps around Jersey with the champ school and stuff,
Mhm.
right? Working, mostly kicking cones around, right? And listening to
Yep.
Nick
Yep.
Einosh talk in my helmet. Um, um, what what was the 789 complex like on the new pavement?
Freaking awesome. Yeah, I
Really?
mean, yeah, there used to be some like issues like going into nine and out of nine. I didn't have any issues
Like
with
those weird
nine.
seams, right? Like the weird,
Yep, I didn't have
Yeah.
any of that. Yeah,
Huh.
like I said, and I personally didn't have any issues with that. Again, it was just the entry to one, 3C, um, and then 10, a little bit in 12, and that's all that I remember. And again, I was coaching, so I don't know, wasn't necessarily in full track diagnostic mode, but that's what I
Yeah.
remember.
So, just so you know, I'm gonna segue into the tire thing because you mentioned the Dunlop thing, and I'm a Pirelli guy, dude. Our last track day on the 26th, we no shit sold like 40 Pirellis. And what's crazy is, this is something that being a racer myself, and I've been running nothing but slicks since I don't remember, right? But doing the tire thing, a lot of customers seem to want the DOTs. Like a lot, like an alarming amount of DOTs, like
Interesting.
crazy.
Well, DOTs as in
Like the
a
Super
track
Corsas,
specific,
like
yeah,
the
the
Super
track
Corsa
specific ones.
DOT, whatever the new whatever the new DO they call it, the track day tire or whatever, but it's the Super
Do you need
Corsa.
warmers? Do you need warmers for those?
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so. They're
well, let's talk
SP3s.
about, yeah, we'll talk about that. But back to, yeah, Carlos made a comment there. I agree. I think we're going to see, I think you'll see mid to high 18s at Jersey. I think it's going to be,
Really?
yeah, it's going to be fast. I think the
Wow.
600s, I think you'll see 20s in the 600, 21s in the 600.
That's
So,
insane. Oh, that means you're gonna see 21s on the baggers,
oh, yeah,
right?
I
Like if you
wouldn't be
see 21s
surprised.
on a 600, you're gonna see 21s on the
It's,
baggers.
it's going to be unbelievable. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of that coming around a little bit where on the tire side, where
Yeah,
you, first of all, I think tire technology is getting better and better.
yeah,
And two, I mean, it's not that warmers are not, for some people, they're just a pain in the ass. So if
right.
you can have something where you can just literally put your freaking bike on a stand, set your pressures in the morning, and then freaking go ride, I mean,
Set your
that's
pressures in the morning and forget about them.
pretty much, that's 99% of the time, that's how I do it. So,
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, I mean, I probably shouldn't, but we're the tire guy now, so like, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing though. Like, it was shocking to me. Like, does it surprise you that track day customers seem to kind of flock to the DOT over the slick? Like, some riders even kind of acted when I communicated with them, they kind of acted almost afraid of the slick. Like, and there's a lot of horse shit that they've read on the internet, of course. And there's
Yeah,
the never-ending peanut gallery of morons that people listen to. But
I yeah, I don't know the context of each one of those, but I think people do realize that slicks, at least on the done, I mean, the bottom line is slicks take more force to stay in the operating window. And if you're not able to keep the heat in them, then you could potentially
right,
run into a problem. I think Pirellis are probably a little bit different in that regard, where they may not take as much force, but I think that again, they all have their pluses and minuses when it comes to all this stuff. So
right,
hard to say.
yeah,
And then, hey, I want to address also wonderful Pinky says about the American Riders. We did talk a little bit about that before he
yeah,
got on.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that all goes back, I think, to the OEM
Manufacturers,
involvement. It
yeah,
is. I mean, that's
yeah,
where it comes from. So until we have OEMs, it's just not going to happen because they're the ones that would pay for it, but also provide the opportunity. Both of those things. And again, if you look at Joe, Joe has paid for it himself, and he's paid for his own opportunity.
right,
So until we get that, I mean, this goes back to if we had a prototype series here in the US, great. Someone's going to win a prototype series, then what the hell do we do with them?
right.
Right? Who's going to guide them through that process when they get over there? And we just don't have that right now.
Or you could do like Christian Daniel did and move his entire family to
But
Spain
but
and have the
that's
kid
what it
grow up
is.
in Spain, and
Yes.
now he's getting talked about on Red Bull Rookies Cup, and he's doing okay in the ETC as well. Um, it could be that Christian Daniel is like the next thing for the next American kid over there in
It,
GP,
it would
maybe.
be it would be amazing, of course. But yeah, I think again, it's how I mean, how many? He's already been there. What, 2 years, 3 years?
Dude, he's been in Spain since I want to say 2018 or 19.
Oh, see, I mean, yeah, that's
Like
even
he
longer
moved
than I
over there when
thought.
he was 8 and he's
Well,
16 now.
but
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
okay, but so he's yeah, so he's already been there for look how many years,
Yeah.
and only now are they starting to get
Yeah.
some legs on that. And I think that's what people don't understand
Right.
is that again, Joe, if you look at Joe was there before Moto 2, but I mean 6 years in Moto 2, and it's only now bearing some fruit.
Right.
So he's
Right.
had some other stuff, but that's just how long it's gonna that's how
And you
long
know
it
what?
takes.
The kid I had him on a couple 3 weeks ago or something, and he kind of said that it's taken him this long to like figure it out, because
Yeah,
they do a lot of training over there, man, and it's very different than the training people do here. Um, a lot of time they're at the track almost every day, bro. Like,
correct. Yeah, no,
you
no,
know,
that's their. It's just like if they
it's a
were.
whole culture thing, though. I mean, the
But
tracks are open and welcoming.
this is how you train athleticism, right? It's same thing as cycling, right? Same thing as running, same thing as gymnastics, right? You're in the
Right,
gym every day. You're bicycling every day in a structured environment. And
right.
how that's just how it goes. So, and yeah, I don't it just takes the time and the discipline to be able to make that
Yeah,
happen. So
yeah. So
what
that's
I mean,
yeah.
look at JD. So when did Richard have JD on a super bike the first time?
I want to say
2008, 2008,
was it 8 or
2008.
12?
I don't know.
I
It was like
think it was
2008.
I think it was 2012 because
Maybe it was 2012.
yeah, it was 2012 or 2011
So
maybe.
why wasn't JD a superbike champion then, right? It's because I mean
Yeah, he
it
wasn't
takes
ready yet.
time.
Yeah,
That I mean, yeah, so now we're dealing with, 12 years later, he's back on a super bike. So
right.
yeah, people don't understand it takes time, just like any other athlete in any
Yeah.
other sport.
Yeah, Pinky saying even Benny Solis and Brandon Posh were in Europe, and and nothing happened in the World Series for them either, right?
Again,
So
you've got two things that happen there, right? One is you have to look at the actual opportunity itself. So the opportunity is different than the rider's talent. Those are two completely different things. You
yeah,
can have a lot of talent but not have the right opportunity. And over there, like Christian Daniels, right? I mean, he's spent enough time there that the opportunities are coming to him.
Yeah.
So, but he's been there enough, right? You can't go there for a year. You can't go there for two
It's not
years.
that
It
he's
doesn't
just
work that
been
way.
there either. Like the kid's he's like in it. You know,
Yeah.
he's actively in it, competing, and he's improving as he goes,
Hmm.
you know, like
Yeah.
over time. And they've been super honest about it. You know, that's the one thing I've seen a lot of racer dads over the years embellishing their kids' talent potential. And the Daniels, you know, because you can say Daniel, you put an S on it, it's plural because they're both the same name, right? They've never been. They're like, look, this is what we did, right?
Yeah.
This is what we did. Yep, crashed out, whatever. Oops, finished 17th. You know, the kid's still pretty frank about his mistakes that he makes too, and you know, a little mistake in there when the field is so stacked deep. You know, like what is it? The top 12 guys are within a second. You know, so if he's in if he's in the top 7 or something, has one little moment, he could either drop back to 19th or he could be on his face. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a brutal environment, but if
yeah,
you, again, you stick with the right process, have the right opportunities,
yeah,
you'll hopefully eventually get there. That's honestly,
yeah,
I think Joe's situation is where he's, matured enough and is now making that stuff happen.
yeah. So you know what? Shifting gears. Am I crazy to think that you had one of those class things happening? The master
Oh, we
thing?
did. Yeah, we did. We had a
The
master class. We had the
master
first,
class.
yeah, we did. We had the
Where did you
first ever
have that?
show. So we did it with Precision Track Days. We actually have two more this year. We did it at
Okay.
VIR. Man, I tell you what, I love VIR. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's such a great
What does the
facility.
master class involve?
So, so the master class is an opportunity for people to get training in a professional environment that is more affordable and accessible than some of the school structures right now, because some of the higher end schools are not cheap. They're big
No.
money.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, is we want to be able to provide an environment that offers individual coaching in a much cheaper environment. But right now we seem to have this big gap. We have either, and I'm going to kind of make it up, but I've got this, you're either your $99 day track day coach, or you got your $3,500 day school, or $3,500 school. There seems to be not a lot of things in between.
Right.
There's a few things. So the master class is an opportunity where we do schools where we take 30 people. We typically run two groups, and we spend 45 minutes in the classroom working on a topic. We explain it. We define it. We give you the proper objectives. We give you drills, and then we send you out to go work on it. And so they do 45 minutes class, 45 minutes on track, and it's a ton of riding time. But the deal that I'm sort of stuck on is I want instructor training. So the way the instructor training works, or the instructors are, is that there's two instructors, or sorry, one instructor for two students, and they literally sit at the same table and go through the same class as everybody else.
Mm.
So they're going through the same structure as the students, and it's a nice environment like that. And a little bit like California Superbike. I mean, they have a similar program like this, um, I think. But in this case, what we're trying to do is make it quite a bit more individualized. And this way, we only have, again, one instructor for two students. He's working with them throughout the entire 2 days. So he gets to know them. We do, obviously our briefings, we do our debriefings when they come back in.
So you said
And
there's the total of how many students?
30 students typically. So we'll do
30
30,
students
15,
total.
15 in each group.
Okay.
So there's 15 in each group. So you get tons of track time.
So
And
what's the cost of
see
entry
the,
to something like that?
yeah, so the price is around $1,200 for
Oh,
both
okay.
days. So it's something where the prices
1,200 bucks for
now,
2 days?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
you're
And
you're doing that for free basically and not making any money.
no, I'm getting paid. No,
You're
I'm
doing
getting
it.
paid.
Somebody's
Yeah, I'm
not
getting
making
paid.
money.
Well, there's a couple of groups that have got different pricing. They're anywhere between like
Yeah.
1,100 and 1,300 bucks. They're somewhere in
Okay.
there. And it's having, we need proper professional coaching with the right process. The other thing
Right.
that it comes with is it comes with a book. So I've written it comes with a guide. It's about a 30-page guide.
Okay.
So the class actually comes with pretty detailed writing information that goes over all of my fundamentals, and
Okay.
each student gets a copy of that as well. So again, the idea is that we need something that's a little bit more accessible, a little bit more affordable for people, and also involves instructor training, because that's something that we're struggling with. Is you talk to 5 coaches and you get 6 different answers,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we've got to do something.
Yeah, that's the one
Um,
thing. That's the one thing I see, like at Superbike school specifically, and also the Yamaha school, is that they pretty much all the instructors kind of teach the thing, right? So if you ask one of the instructors something, they're pretty close going to tell you what the line is.
yeah, so my big thing is it's really easy to say what to do. Like, what to do is easy. It's the how to do it,
Right.
individualized for that person. And that is sort of what I've tried to
Yeah, like,
in
bro,
my
you need to
yeah,
like move your foot like here on your.
literally, literally, and that opens the door for a bunch of
I think you
added
did that to
things.
me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. You're
Probably.
like, D, your
I,
foot needs to go here.
I know I told you not to be a lazy ass. I know I
I
remember that
think
one.
well, that was after class, dude. That was like when I was already racing and winning and
Yeah,
stuff.
I said don't. I said stop being a lazy ass.
Yeah.
Um, to Chris McCurry's point, yes, we actually are going to pit race in August. Sorry,
Oh
it's in
shit.
August, but yeah. So with Precision, we're doing pit race and CMP this year, and then we're doing 3 classes at the Ridge, and then I'm going to be in Canada also doing a class. That one's actually already sold out. So
Oh wow. Okay.
yep, yep.
Dude, I gotta get you signed up to do some shit with us, man. SoCal.
I I think you'd like it. And again,
I think I
it's
would like it personally to like tune up my crew first of
yep.
all, and then because dude, we started doing something like you said, like we just kind of like one of my guys is he's a big time business guy, like he's in the limousine type business, he has party buses and all kinds of crap, and he's super into bikes, and he's like, dude, we need to do this, and he's been up my ass about it, so we did like a pilot version of it at the last track day. Dude, lots of people joined it, and it was like
Yeah.
they wanted to sign up for they wanted to spend money to get coached for a session.
Yeah.
What?
So see, I mean, yeah, I mean, Dustin, you're seeing the exact issue, right? Is that,
Yeah.
having the right information in the right
Yeah.
order. I mean, there's a market for it. It's just not being done
Yeah.
properly. Yeah, we had at the VIR one, we had, I think, 4 people. The last day we had 4 people sign up for the next class right out of the gate. And then we're working on actually bringing car driving into it as well. I took 2 students out car driving at lunch, and both of
You
them
did that
said,
at the Rick School too.
yeah, I did. Yeah, we did. And it is still the best thing that you can do.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I took 2 people out in the car at lunch, and in 30 minutes between both people, yeah, they both said that was worth more than the entire school, just being able to be right, in the car doing these things.
I mean, I
So we're going to be
remember
introducing
doing
that.
car stuff with you at Miller on the 3-day
Yeah,
champ school back in
we've
what,
been,
2011.
dude, we've been doing car stuff for 15 years.
We did it
Yeah,
because it was raining, right? And it was just
yeah,
pouring rain. We're like, fuck
yeah,
it, let's take the cars out. So, and
yeah.
and you know what? I believe it helped,
Mhm.
because you could see in the car the concept of what we were talking about, and then you go out and do it on the bike. And I remember that rainy class. I remember we were absolutely ripping. I mean, you guys were
Oh
like,
yeah.
you sure you're okay going? Like, dude, I feel fine. What do you mean?
Yeah, this seems good to me. Yeah, the car thing's interesting because how you ride is how you drive. I've proven that
Yeah,
100%. But the other one is because we're sharing the same time and space,
yeah,
then I can sit next to you and talk about turn in rate or brake app, like
yeah.
whatever it is, sitting right next to you and being able to do it, and that's the game changer.
Hmm, that's interesting, man. You want okay? So
So
one
yes, I'll
more.
come out. I'll come out. Yes, we'll do some days this year.
We should, dude. We
Yeah.
should. We should. I would love to have you come slap my guys around a bit.
Oh, I'm in. I got good
I don't know if
stories.
any of them are watching, but yeah, that'd be fun. Okay, so the other thing that we wanted to talk about is new bikes. I guess there's some crazy new bikes coming out, and I saw the iconic dudes were talking about some new Aprilia, and then I guess that KTM thing got
Yep,
launched,
the
whatever that thing
KTM.
is.
Yeah, the 990 RCR. Yeah, it's funny. Like KTM, when they bring something out, they don't fuck around. I mean,
What are you
it's like
talking
look at
about? All they do is do dirt bikes. Like whatever.
their dirt bikes are pretty
KTM's a
good.
dirt bike company. Come on.
Well, when you look at okay, let's look at the
That
Kramers.
joke's just
Okay,
for Yosef at Attack.
so look at the Kramers, right? So the Kramers
Yeah,
come out, and it's a brilliant thing, right? Just it's a complete hot
right.
rod, just bitching. And then KTM goes, "Oh, hold my,
Hold
whatever,
my beer, watch this.
hold my strudel, yeah." And they've come out with this RC8R that is just, freaking phenomenal, phenomenal motorcycle. And now they're going to be doing something similar with this 990 RCR, and it looks. I think that thing is going to be the real deal, and if that thing's going to be super sport legal, holy crap!
Really. Super
Yep,
sport legal.
yep.
Yeah, that super sport class is really changing. It's definitely not. There's some old school dudes that still think it's the 600 class, and it's just not anymore.
Nope,
The only
nope.
reason why there's still a couple of 600s left in there is because that manufacturer doesn't make it, whatever the new thing is yet, right?
Yep.
I do keep hearing there's Yamaha's got that R9 thing coming. I haven't seen it, and marketing guys don't talk to me about it because I have a big mouth. So,
At
right?
least you're honest.
I
Um,
mean, like whatever.
in the thing, it's interesting on the R9, right? I did have some inside information on the motor, and the motor is supposed to be freaking bitchin'. Like,
Really?
oh yeah, the motor's supposed to be all that. They hadn't decided what chassis, and we still sort of don't know. But I mean,
Yeah.
we know it's going to be. The bottom line is we kind of know what it's going to be. It's not going to be an R6. It's going to be
Yeah.
R6 chassis. It's going to be, I hate to say entry level, but it's going to be a little bit more kind of an entry level situation. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, but in race trim, whatever.
Who
But
knows?
dude, I have tried my best. I've talked to just about everybody I could talk to at Yamaha to try to get an invite to whatever. Like, dude, you gotta send me.
Yeah,
So we shall see. I'll, you know what? We'll do a whole show just on that if I get to do that.
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Right?
Yeah, you'd be good. I mean, you'd be good to send to that, to like a
Yeah.
press release, or I
Yeah.
mean, a
Press launch
press
or
launch.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
those are fun.
Like
Oh my
I
God,
do
they're
this.
fun.
I do this show. We'll do a whole show on it. Right?
Dude, the press launches are just the best. It is
Yeah.
just, yeah, writing other people's shit as fast as you can. It's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah, it's the journalist Grand Prix is what it boils
oh,
down to.
dude. I think I write okay.
You'd be fine. There's some insanely fast
Oh,
guys
I
on there.
know. I
Holy
know.
crap. Oh my
Yeah.
God. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
I
So,
think the KTM is gonna be expensive though, is my guess. I think it's gonna be limited and be expensive, but that's
I mean, that's what you get with the Euro bike manufacturers, right?
pretty much, pretty
Cubic
much.
dollars.
I want a new bike, but I sold
Dude,
two of my
I'm over here
FZ1s.
like I don't even
I
give a
sold two of
fuck
my
about new
FZ1s.
bikes. I'm just like,
Yeah.
when I think about new bikes, I'm like Trek Madone. That's what I'm daydreaming about now.
I did buy myself a new bicycle.
Did
I
you?
did to motivate myself with my knee. So yeah, I got a Cervelo Soloist. So
Nice.
I have that, and it is all that. It is definitely
Yeah.
all that. But yeah, I don't know. This will be fun for everybody that's tuning in. But um, I think, yeah, if I had to buy a bike today, I think I would surprise you with my answer. What do you think it'd be?
If you had to buy a bike today, because you're old and your knees fucked up.
Knee's good. Knee's
Is it
good.
good? Is it good?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so probably not a naked bike then.
No, I'd still get a freaking naked bike because I freaking love them
Oh,
so
would
much.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be like a FTR, would it?
No, 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 no. No, I go street triple. Right now,
Okay.
that's my pick of the week is street triple. Yeah, Super
Yeah.
Cub. That's about as right now. It's about as fast as I feel.
Well, my
Um,
go-to is still the R1. I love the R1. I actually went today to pick up a stalker out of my trailer. Brand new 2024 R1, and I'm gonna take it out to Chuckwalla this weekend.
oh, right
Like,
on.
yeah, yeah, it's fun. You could go there now without the MG.
There you go. I know
No
what you're talking
MG
about.
means I get to go ride Chuckwalla. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Pinky, I had an MT10 for 3 years,
yeah,
and the only bummer in the MT10, to haul ass on them, you got to do a lot of work to them. They don't
I have
to
one.
get after it. You got to do
Okay,
forks and a
okay,
shock and a master cylinder and
my bike does
mapping and
have a lot of stuff on it.
yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
MT10's it is good, but you got to do a lot of shit to it.
yeah. I
The
mean, I
Triumph
do have
1200 is fun.
wheels. On my two up
TC,
sled wheels. I have the pipe, master cylinder, shock, fork cartridges,
but other than that,
brake
it's
lights.
stock. Yeah, other than that, it's stock.
Yeah, it's totally stock though, right?
Jesus.
I love lighting the
Um,
tire off of that thing, dude. It's like my favorite thing. And that bike is like, dude, I've literally kept that bike since we got it in 17. This is the longest. The FZ10 that I have, which is the same bike basically. The
yeah.
FZ10 I have, I've had it longer than I've had any motorcycle the entire time I've been riding.
So Picky says Triumph 1200. Actually, when I did the motorcycle.com, whatever it was, their naked frickin' bike test a couple years ago, I picked the Triumph 1200 as my favorite one. I wasn't the fastest. Uh, I wasn't the. I didn't have the fastest lap time on it, but I like that bike. And then I've already done the stock Gixxer thing. I had one for 3 years and I sold it whatever it was last year. So I had the stock Gixxer 1000 and I loved it, but I was kind of like, I want something else. So
Russ Lit, this is kind of funny. He's invited
dude,
me to Mid Ohio, says he's got a bike there waiting for me. And he said,
yeah,
just
great.
don't, dude, I ordered a mouth guard from Damage Control or something. And because they use Shop, it sent the mouth guard to the last person I ordered a KYT helmet for instead of my address because they all use Shop. So like whatever the
Got
last
it.
address you ship to, no matter what it says, it's gonna. So you got to clear out all the addresses. It's weird, but yeah. So Russ Lit, like I actually have Russ Lit's sticker on my file cabinet over there because like he shipped me my mouth guard with a bunch of Lit stickers. It's really funny. So
Well, I
yeah.
will see Russ on Monday at Mid Ohio. I'm jacked. I'm jacked there. I won't be riding. I'll be working, but I'll still be there. So it's all good.
Yeah, I don't really have the time to do that right now, but dude, I would love to come on ride. I just fucking making time to go is it's hard, man. It's really hard. And then, like, dude, we have a crazy summer, dude. It's like the 29th, 30th, we're at Buttonwillow. The weekend after that, I'm road tripping with a group of dudes to Coda for a weekend to ride there. And then the weekend after that's Moto America at Laguna. And then the weekend after that's Arma. We have a track day on the Tuesday after Arma. So I'm gonna ride bicycles on Monday in
I did
Monterey.
in April. I was at 6 tracks in April. In
Yeah.
May, I'm at seven tracks
Yeah.
in May, and in June, I'm at four.
Yeah.
Four. Yeah.
I
So
mean, it's
it
literally like
is.
back to back. Buttonwillow, Laguna,
Yep.
Buttonwillow,
It is
back
the
to back
best
to
problem
back
in
to
the
back to
world.
back.
It
It's
is the best
amazing,
problem in the world. It is the
right?
best problem in the world. That is
Yeah, I love
correct.
it. It's great. And but just a heads up, so all of my Laguna days, all the track days events are 105 decibels. So the 23rd is a 105
Score.
decibel day. It's on Tuesday after Arma. Monday, anybody that wants to ride that track day on Tuesday and they're not in the Aprilia day or whatever the fuck it is on Monday, join me for a bicycle ride in Monterey area, dude. I usually put in like 75, 80 miles in that area the day before the track day. So anybody that's down for that, bring your kit.
I can get
Yeah.
after it.
Torture sesh, engage, right?
There's climbing there.
Of course there is. Lorales, great. I was thinking about doing Lorales backwards.
I can't remember. It's got to
Lorales
be.
is the street, like right down the
Oh,
street from the racetrack,
yeah,
and
yeah.
now it's like an okay climb on coming from the racetrack, but if you come from the Carmel side, it's way gnarlier.
I think I've done. It was at least 20 years ago when I did it. Probably more longer than that. More when I
Pinky
was.
says he's down for 20 miles, pussy.
Yeah. Well,
But look at him, dude. He's like that. He's like rail thin, tall guy. So
what else? Do we have questions? Do we have any questions?
I mean, I'm looking at it, and I'm not seeing it. I think people were asking the questions, and we were getting to them while we were talking. Like I can roll through and see. I mean, there was some more comments about cheating and stuff, but can we have Jay Tanner on the show? Sure. I've known Jay Tanner for 25 years. I'm sure I could get that dude on the.
He would love to. He would
Would
love to
he?
be on the show. I think he would. He would bitch
He
about it.
pretends
He'd
to
bitch
be.
about it.
Yeah.
No, he would bitch about it, but he'd love to do it.
Okay.
Dude, that guy's history.
Oh man, I like before we go, should I tell my Jay Tanner story when I met him?
I don't know that one, but
I mean, when I met Jay Tanner, it was in the late '90s at Willow Springs at a Fast Track Friday. I used to do the website.
That was Fight Club.
No, dude, this is WSMC era. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You couldn't do a track day unless you were doing it the Friday of the race weekend. So I'm there, and I'm thinking I'm getting going. Like I'm doing like I don't know. I want to say let's just say I'm doing 35s or whatever, 32s on a Honda 600 out there. And Jay rolls up and he's got this YZF 600 in his Astro van. He rolls out and he's got a set of leathers that looks like it came straight out of the movie On Any Sunday. And I'm like, oh, no fucking way. This guy, like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, whatever. He's slick back hair, Astro van, the whole thing, right? Dude, J Balls goes out and immediately from breakfast rolls out on track 27s.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, dude. No,
like
so fast.
I was like,
so fast.
What? Yeah. So that's my Jay Tanner story. I was like, holy shit, this old guy fucking rips. Like I'm in my early 20s. Anyway. So.
Hey, let's talk real quickly about little barber predictions.
Okay. Well. You go first, because I mean, okay, Super Sport, I'm picking PJ still. But then again, I'm picking PJ knowing that Blake's probably coming.
Skoltz.
And, dude, Skoltz at Barber, too.
At Barber. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, dude. Man. Yeah, and you know what? Barber's not really a Ducati type track, so
I think he's gonna.
I think okay. Now that you reminded me that my buddy Skoltz is in there, yeah. Sorry, PJ, I gotta pick Skoltzy for this one. And then Superbike, obviously, you can't vote against Jake. I mean, it's very hard to bet against the champ, 3-time champ that dominates.
It's a great track. It's a great track for that bike, especially with the improvements that they've made.
Yeah.
Though last year we did see Cam second race. He really stepped it up. So
yeah.
That one will be interesting. So the other one was we had Stock 1000 coming.
Yeah, I mean, dude, again, hard to bet against the champ there too.
On a new Honda.
He's on the Honda, but like so is damn near half the field because Honda pays, right? Like Trevor Watson is like cha-ching, right? So
yeah. I mean, and yeah, Pinky's got. I mean, Tyler Scott. You can't count him out. I mean, he always rises to the occasion. But
yeah, he does. But I mean, he does. I mean, he still went fast after throwing the thing in the trash the day before, right? So,
Steven's got a question here about brake pressure sensor. It depends on what your goals are. So even if it's a vintage razor and you got the dash, that's awesome. I mean, if it's something that you guys are looking at, uh, you wanted to look at your own riding and see what's going on with it. Yeah, brake pressure sensors, absolutely very, very valuable. First one we look at is GPS speed. Second one we look at is throttle graph, and then the third one is going to be brake pressure.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's if you can do it, then I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
to go to follow up on that, like I use that stuff. I'm gonna say it in a less professional terms than Ken. I just use those things to check for wuss gap. So, you know,
it's
the
that's
gap
okay.
between
That's
this
okay.
and that, the gap between this and that. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
simple,
that
right?
works.
Shortening up
Yeah, and
that.
then the Beamers, yeah, going on to Barbara again, the Beamers in stock 1000 are also going to be something. I don't know how much time they've tested. The Beamers can be hit and miss. The initial package with the Beamers so good
Yeah,
that you certainly can't count those guys out. And of course, geez, Andrew Leon one is going to be very, very quick. So
right.
we'll see.
Well, dude, you've got Wyatt on an R1. Dude, you got Bryce Prince in that class on an R1.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think you've got the other guy, Dion. Like all in BPR dudes on the R1s, right?
I think stock 1000 is going to be another class where there's going to be seven guys that could potentially win the thing.
Yeah,
And the Honda guys still have development to work. They haven't been in a race weekend yet. Guys that haven't been on the Beamer, it's going to be a little bit different. So they're going to have
right.
to, yeah, they're going to have to figure some stuff out. So, yeah.
Mainly, yeah.
Oh,
Looking
Steven
at,
says, yeah, to Chris, yeah.
yeah,
Steven, I've got I think I have some videos on, or I have some stuff on my Substack on the break graph. So if you go to my Substack, which is just going to my website, cagecoaching.com, it'll take you right to my Substack, and there's a bunch of free stuff in there. Uh, that I think there's some stuff on the break graph in there as well.
So Hyperdyne 15 wants your thoughts on the competitiveness of the R6 the remainder of the year in Supersport. Dude, I think with the cylinder head they're allowed right now, like they're making a bunch of power and spending a bunch of money to make the thing super fast. But at the same time, a lot of that class is due to the loose nut behind the bars.
100%.
And
Yeah,
there's a couple of like crazy motherfuckers on the R6 right now between,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, between Skoltz and Blake Davis, I mean, Blake
yep.
Davis weighs, I think Blake Davis weighs as much as my left leg, and so I think that that's going to help. Plus, I mean, their motors are now sourced from Europe, I think, so that's why those bikes are rockets.
And I know
Um,
I know exactly where Skoltz's engine's built. You want to take any guesses? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I think I think attack guys kind of know their way around a Yamaha engine, right? So
I think Skoltz can, again, Skoltz is a great example of he can figure out whatever the shortcoming of the
right,
bike is and
right,
ride around it a little bit. And I think he's going to be a player for sure.
yeah,
So it almost doesn't matter what the bike is. He's just
right.
going to figure it out.
And Cody Krager says Altus chose one hell of a year to not do stock 1000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing the super sport thing though. I mean, I think the Altus team's done a great job of focusing their efforts. They had so many different things going on. They had the Twins Cup shit, they had the Junior Cup and the Stock 1000 and the super sport class. I mean, it's a lot, dude.
Too
So to have
much.
them
Yeah.
all on
Too
one
much.
thing, I talked to Boyd a little bit at Altus at Road Atlanta, and what's Torrin Collins, I think, is the other kid that's on there. So it's like
Yep.
Torrin Collins, Jake Lewis, and Nasani, right? Jarrett.
Yep.
So dude, I was like, what the fuck's going on with Torrin? I remember Torrin from Chuck Walla back in the day, right? Dude, he's that little guy, and now he's all yoked out and big. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, Boyd told me he's he's taking dieting tips from Jake Lewis.
Oh my God. Oh.
I was like, what does that mean, dude? Like peanut butter sandwiches? Like what? anyway, so
Jake's gonna haul ass. I mean, Jake actually had a good weekend, and
yeah,
he's got Rick Matheny with him, and
yeah.
Rick knows what to do.
Oh, 100%.
I think Rick will be up there as well. So anyway,
Yeah,
or Jake will be up there, but
yeah.
more
Anyway,
stuff.
let's see what else. Yeah, it's stock thousand is going to be good. Competitive of R6. Okay, yeah, I think that's it, man. I think we're good.
Awesome.
Oh, and predictions. Chris McCreary thinks JD wins a superbike race, at least one of them at Barber. That's a bold statement, Chris.
I don't think though, I wouldn't bet against that. I wouldn't bet against that.
Okay. I mean, that means Jake's
So,
not going to win. So, like,
but if JD's very quick at Barber, very quick.
yeah,
And I mean, if you go back to his 2017 and 2017 year, and actually 2016 year, I mean, they were so fast. And JD goes very well at Barber. So if he's
yeah,
got a package that works for him, I would not count him out.
yeah. Dude, I don't count JD out. I'm just saying, there's
You want Jake to
Gagne.
win.
There's Gagne on the
Yeah.
grid.
There's a
There's a Cam
whole,
Peterson on the grid that's ripping now too.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Each one of those guys has such, I mean, any of them could do it, which is exactly what I want to see.
Yeah,
And they all have different characteristics, right? I mean, Jake is now kind of the wise old guy, if you can believe that. I mean, Cam
he's
comes
like
from a place,
30,
yeah.
right?
I mean, Cam comes from a place of just honestly pure, just raw speed and raw talent, and he always seems to be able to pick it up a notch.
Right.
JD, no one has more determination than JD, no one. And but then you still can't count out Baz, and you still can't count out Heron. I mean, the bottom line is you can't. So
Yeah, I mean, with those guys, I mean, even a broken clock's works twice a day, right?
yeah, the other one that we didn't talk about, which is worth mentioning, is SDK. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, dude. Holy shit.
we talked about
SDK
SDK.
murdered at Road Atlanta, and nobody
Yeah,
expected him to go like that. But
we talked about. I said top five,
yeah,
and but I mean, I think he's just a silent assassin right now,
yeah,
and I think he's another one to watch out for.
yeah. I mean, if his team puts the thing together, I mean, he's got the will, and he's got JT with him.
Big
Jeremy
time.
fucking Toy, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy looked happier than I've seen him in years.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
It's like saying it without saying it.
Yeah, I think they're they're a great combination,
Yeah,
and I think honestly, Jeremy's in a place where he's a little bit off his leash, and I think that's a great thing. He's able to do some things that he wants to do, and he understands STK really well. I think it's a great combination. I
yeah.
would again, I they're going to be on the box multiple times this year.
Dude, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a knife fight. Let's see who else is racing at Barber, because I don't think is hooligans, right? Or no?
No, I don't think
No,
Hooligans is till the
nothing
Ridge.
until later, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they're till the Ridge.
yeah. So I mean, Baggers is not till later either, right? So
I don't think so.
yeah,
I'm trying to stay a little bit in my world right now.
I hear that. I hear that. I tell you what, man. After talking about that club racer drama shit at the beginning of the show, I was like, yep, it was a good idea to sell my stake in that, because I don't want to fuck with that anymore.
I
Such a thankless
I
job,
I have a hard enough time putting my own pants on, let alone somebody else's pants on
Right.
every day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Eric says no hooligan or baggers at Barber. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's one less thing for Richard to talk shit about.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah, I think Baz would be there for sure.
Yeah. I think Richie's out, but I think Baz is. I mean, he raced on Sunday, so
Yep.
And Pinky, you're gonna have to watch the show. We talked about rumor mill stuff. Xavi Flores, maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the rumor, though. That's the rumor. Xavi was like coy as shit. He's like, "What are you talking about? Seems people know more than me." Right. So Anyway, well, Ken, good show, man.
Yeah, fun.
It
Fun.
was like
we have
a
to
hour. I think we were at 6,000 something for a little bit.
Oh wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to catch up after Barber. I'll be slammed, but we'll sneak a day in because
Yeah.
doing these after the race weekends is super fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I have Richard, and then I've got a few in the works too. I think I'm supposed to
Awesome.
talk to that Red Line Tire Warmers dude. So that should be fun.
Awesome.
And then I'm just constantly building the list, and it just keeps on. I don't know. I try to do 2 a week during the season. So we shall see.
It's like
So
a freaking full-time job.
I know, except it doesn't pay anything. So that's cool.
No, well,
Right?
I get that.
All right, man.
All right.
See ya. Thank you guys
All
for
right.
all your comments and watching and subscribing and all that stuff.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yep.